Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Professor David J. De Los Reyes. What I will be presenting tonight will be my do-it-yourself solar equipment. Before I will try to operate my solar equipment, I would like to discuss how this solar equipment operates. The number one requirement for a solar equipment is that you should have a solar panels. Okay, I got my solar panels outside, and these are the wirings that came from outside. Okay, it goes at the back, and it is directed to my solar charge controller. Okay, this is a, what you call this, a fuse, a high amperage fuse. It's 100 ampere fuse. At the back of the solar charge controller, there are two wirings there, the positive, and then the other one is the negative. Okay, so the main usage of this positive is negative. There will be an available voltage on this one here. So the use of these two terminals is actually to charge these two solar batteries. It's 100 ampere hours each. Okay, it's from Renogy, something like that. Okay, they are connected in parallel. So the positive connected to the positive, and negative connected to the negative. And this terminal here goes to the input of the inverter, and this terminal here goes to the negative terminal of the inverter. I got two inverters here. This is a 2400 and this is a 3600. So the power source of this inverter here actually emanates from the battery. And these two batteries, of course, it is being charged by the solar panels from outside. That is during the day, right? So to show you the connection of the battery terminals at the back, these are the ones. This came from the positive terminal of the battery. This is from the negative terminal of the battery. Okay? So that's the power source of this inverter here. I just would like to discuss the first inverter. The first inverter here, it looks like a VCR, but this is a high wattage power inverter, 2,400 kilowatts, and the output of this one is actually sine wave. So actually, we could plug in the power source of our computers in here. It is fine because the wave of the inverter is actually sine wave. So this is the output terminals of the inverter. I am here in the USA right now, so the voltage output of this one is 120. And this is the power switch. Okay. To operate this inverter here, there should be a battery, and the battery should have enough voltage to operate this one here. And as a protection to the inverter, the positive terminal is actually got a fuse, okay, which is rated 100 amperes. Actually, you could flip this one if it's off. If you try to switch on, you just do like that. So if there is a fault between the inverter and the battery, this will pop out. Okay. So if you try to return this one and the fuse doesn't pop out, there is no short. But just in case there is a short, this will pop out. Okay. So the inverter is protected for a short circuit problem. Okay. I will now would like to show you how this inverter operates. I will just flip this on. These two batteries are actually charged during the day. They got enough juice to be operating this inverter here. I will just be operating the first one. Okay, so I will switch on this one now. Okay, plug in here is my transistor radio. It got a power adapter, and the back of this one I installed a do-it-yourself voltage regulator. That's a 3 volts voltage regulator. Okay, so the output of this one goes to the input of the 3 volt regulator, and the output will be 3 volts because the power requirement of this radio is just 3 volts. Okay, so rest assured that the voltage operating this radio will be 3 volts because I got a 3 volt do-it-yourself voltage regulator at the back. This is plugged into 120 volts. So if the output of this one is 12 volts, the input to the regulator will be 12. And since the regulator is 3 volts, the output of that one will be 3 volts. And that is the one operating this radio. I just now would like to show you that this inverter is operating. Meaning, okay, I will try to flip on now. And it works. It works. So as you could see it, the inverter works. There is a 120 volt coming out here, and this 120 volt, this will bring out 12 volt. So that 12 volt will be inputted to the input of the 3 volt voltage regulator, and the output of this 3 volts voltage regulator goes to the input of the small radio. Okay, actually I installed an LED here indicating that if it is powered up, this will be lighted. Okay, so this is a do-it-yourself, what you call this, solar equipment. Even the voltage regulator of my small radio is also do-it-yourself. So this is a do-it-yourself at home for me to have done this one. Okay, before we will go for this morning, I will try to operate this one again, and let's try to see if this inverter really bring out 120 volts to power up this one, so the radio will be on. One more time. It works. Okay, as you can see it works. That's my do-it-yourself solar equipment and my do-it-yourself voltage regulator of my small radio, and all the things here that I have done, it's a do-it-yourself. Okay, so I will repeat it. That's the wiring coming from the solar panels outside. It goes to my solar charge control.